And if we didn't have phones, how could you have done it without a phone?
The remnant of nomads feel lost in a world they don't recognize, controlled by evil forces who seek to enslave them. They have trained and prepared for this very moment.
That's kind of...
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Nomad Remnant. We are live here from Always Armed in Orlando, Florida. One of the best gun stores. I don't think I'm not getting any feedback in there. So
No
just
feedback.
Really the microphone. Let me know if we're 5x5. Part 1 and 2 is still on the under the live streams section of my live streams. If you go down, I had a part 1 with Tim Harper, part 2, and this is part 3. Obviously, you'll probably see us looking down a little bit here because this is where the chat is, and we have a camera rigged up over there. Did I miss Harper last night? No. He said he was in chat, but I don't think anybody else seen him in chat because I was going through chat pretty hard. And our microphone is right here, Tim. So this is probably how you'll hear me best. That's probably how you'll hear him
I
best.
actually don't need the earphone.
Yeah, I don't.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So we are going to be talking radio comms and
Other stuff too. And
other stuff too. We got tons of firearms in here with us. Hold this up high. I'll hold it for us. And okay, Drew, I am clueless about radios and comms, even though I have a GMRS license and a call sign, one scanner, one radio, the T8H, I think. Did you get a ham license too, Drew, or just the GMRS license? 5x5. Nice. That's what we like to hear. Oh man, look who it is. Glad to see you getting into the radio community. Shout out to brother Risky Chrisky.
he knows quite a bit about radios. I've
He
heard
does.
about him. He's there.
That should be good.
Yeah. That's why I put that there.
So I talked to Risky yesterday and gave me a little ham insight. And yeah, trying to really get my communication skills up and the guys who are local to me, and then maybe being able to reach across state lines and talk to some other people. Just in 2 days, me and Tim were just talking about how when he got here, I'd share my call sign, but it would immediately dox me. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do it. But when Tim got here, I had nothing programmed for my local repeaters and stuff like that. Tim instantly found 5-6 different repeaters.
Yep.
Five
That worked
6?
between my location and his house.
Yep. And so right from the couch, over 20 miles, we were able to just use handhelds. And so how did you look up those repeaters?
Just online. Look up your city name or the major city near you. Amateur radio repeaters. I looked up the city and look up the city that you're in, and they'll all be listed.
So earlier today we were together, and the guys at the radio store told us, that all the GMRS repeaters were privately owned. Is that typical for cities to have privately owned GMRS repeaters, or are there some public ones?
Yeah, they're all private. Actually, amateur radios are private too.
Okay.
They're not government owned. None of them are. There are a few that the governments help with it providing locations, maybe a little support. But this is basically a hobby. So every repeater is maintained by a civilian, an individual that cares. And they put their time and money into keeping these repeaters up. And it costs several $1,000s to invest into it. And then you need to go maintain the site. One of the sites we had, one of the agreements we had was we did property. We mowed the grass. We kept the weeds out of the tower area.
Nice.
So we'd go every month and mow the place for the tower owner. But they are all privately owned or by a club.
Risky Krisky has a question for you.
Okay.
I know Baofangs can get FM. Can they get AM to listen in the event of an emergency also?
No, not AM like your car has. That's a specific band. That's down around 530 kilohertz to around 1700 kilohertz, 1.7 megahertz. The AM, FM is the language the radio speaks. So AM is amplitude modulation. FM is frequency modulation. So it doesn't refer to the band or where you're listening. They just call FM on our car. We've all used slang for that. It's actually 3 meter. It's the 3 meter band to listen to music. And your AM is around the 600 meter band or even lower. It's just a language. You've got sideband. That's another language, and we call them modes. If your radio wants to talk to another radio, you have to be in the same mode so that they can decode the signal the correct way.
And that's different than a tone, correct?
Yeah, it's different than a tone. A tone is a tone. Like if you have 1,000 hertz tone, it's 1,000 hertz tone no matter where you are in the world or what you're doing.
Okay. Risky also says you can use radioreference.com to find repeaters in your area.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the references. And Radio Reference will show you public service and government and private entities as well.
Repeater Book Connect app is awesome to easy program repeaters into compatible radios. Works great with the Kenwood THD75.
Yeah. Some of them will like that one will automatically download the repeaters in your area. It gets more complicated as the more money you spend on a radio. But usually if you just type in your local city that you're at or your county, GMRS repeater or amateur radio repeater, it'll just bring up the stuff in your area. And you don't got to use the databases like that to search. It's just right there. Like I showed you in the donut shop or Wawa we were at, I looked up the GMRS and you said send that to me, and it had the 7 or 8 GMRS repeaters.
Risky ass, he said, thanks, brother. Been looking to get a cheap AM receiver in the event of a nuke or something, and I didn't know if the dual bands could receive that or not before purchasing. Yeah,
no, you just have to get an AM radio, AM, FM. You can get our Crane, one of the Crane models. There's Grundig. There's several other, and they'll probably come with shortwave as well. If you're looking for an AM only, that's called medium wave, and shortwave is right above it. Shortwave would be excellent. You want a shortwave receiver that can pick up sideband, and that will be your ultimate low band receiver. Some of the HF ham radios will do that. They'll come with it already in it, because our HF bands are intertwined like this, intertwined with broadcast stations and military stations and everything in between. Amateur radio has slivers in the HF spectrum that we can use. So your radio is probably already ready to listen to that stuff.
Captain Raccoon mentions SDR.
Yep. I'm building one.
Risky said, I have an SDR, but I haven't messed with it in a long time, literally since I made YouTube videos sending directional data bursts years ago. Tim, have you read Gorilla's Guide to the Baofeng?
Yeah, I've got that book. Yes, I do. It's a good book to get you programmed into your Baofeng radio, and a lot of the principles and everything actually cross over to these other radios. You can learn a lot. It'll get you started on other radios to program. They may use different terminology in the programming menus, but you can figure it out.
Oh, God, I just realized that we are filming live from a gun store and you cannot pick up firearms during a YouTube live stream.
That's right. So we're going to pick up radios instead.
Yeah, but I don't know what will happen behind us.
We're not picking them up. Everybody has them in their backgrounds. If it was an issue, then Brandon Herrera, who's running for state senate down there in Texas, could not do his live streams or anything, which he's done some with guns in the background. Who else does live streams?
But if someone comes in,
DLD,
and they pull one off the wall. That's what I'm worried about.
We'll just block the camera. So far, nobody's come in here but one person. So
yeah, we may have to change direction if something like that's going on.
Yeah.
It can be confusing, but it's great listening to Risky. Let's see what else. GMRS is an awesome community. Yeah, I'm gonna get my GMRS and start figuring that out because I want to have comms back and forth within the family. And you know, we were talking about if other people can use your call sign and things like that, which on ham it's pretty forbidden. I talked about it last night a little bit on the stream. We had a guy who I had actually reached out to Tim on my Baofeng getting onto the highway, and you know, I got chewed out pretty bad for not dropping my call sign, using the 10 code. They were quick to jump on it, and they were very pissed off. So it did make me think about, you know, having that license just minimizes a lot of attention. You know?
It does. It'll let you just fit in. They protect the radio bands because they don't want it to devolve into the CB. If you listen to CB in the past 30, 40 years, you know it's a bunch of crap. People get on there and just mess with other people, and we don't want that. We want order. We want to be able to use these things when we want to. We don't want people jamming us. We're civilized, so we want to keep the amateur radio bands that way. So that's where the licensing comes in. And really the licensing is like understanding your gun laws. Yes, you can shoot your gun. You can go out and shoot it out in the pasture. Should you shoot it in the mall? No. So that's where amateur radio, the license comes in. You will learn where you can transmit and where you can't. You will be given certain frequencies that are yours to play with, and you will understand that if you get outside of that, you may be interfering with public service. You could actually cause death or serious injury to people. You could interfere with aircraft telemetry, digital modes. You may be causing trouble to the FAA or your local fire. And you learn to stick to your amateur bands. And then when you get good enough, you know where you can talk outside of them without interfering or causing harm to anybody else. And if you want to get in trouble really quick, cause trouble to these emergency providers, that's when you will get hunted down.
I think we should move this camera before something does happen and someone grabs something. And I think I should have thought of that. Shout out to Kurt24, Drew in Oregon. We got the Armsman in the building. Risky. Anybody who has any radio questions, I mean, Tim is a radio wizard. And I think we're just about to have...
I wouldn't say wizard. I've just driven down that road for 30 years. So
yeah,
just years of experience with radio.
So he's a grand wizard in radio.
Yeah. I've just got experience driving the car. So
yeah. I used 10 codes on him, got my ass chapped real quick. Yeah, that happened to me, literally.
That happened to you. You just, when you're on the repeaters, these FM repeaters, these VHF, UH, just talk normal like we are now. You talk normal every 10 minutes, give your ID, and when you're done, you give your ID. I lined that guy out too, didn't I? Because he was wrong. He said you have to ID when you start transmitting. No, it doesn't say that. It does not say that. Even though everybody does it, good for you. I don't have to. It's not in the rules and regs. And also, if you haven't noticed, if you didn't know, the FCC can fine people for stuff, but nobody's ever paid it. They don't have the authority to enforce their penalties.
I think
so
that should help with the camera angle.
Yeah, that should.
Yep.
That's good. Cut my hat off. But that's okay.
Drew, don't mess with the FFA government airplanes frequently.
Yeah.
Is that Red Dawn Readiness? Do something different. Good to see you. Actually, it is Nomad Remnant, formerly known as Red Dawn Readiness. But yeah, because I have a group of guys that we all train together, they all decide to go out and buy Baofengs, and no one knows how to use them. Fortunately, being on YouTube and watching Risky's old videos and meeting Tim over the years, like I've got to learn little by little. It's like speaking a new language and understanding like frequencies, which, you know, you can't really see. You just have to understand how these things work and then tap into them. So, you know, I'm kind of taking that responsibility on myself to get licensed, teach the guys around me, and start creating some type of a network that we can use, even with my home and my wife, on using radios versus, you know, if cell phones happen to be down, which it seems like, you know, over the years we've had Verizon outages. We've had pretty big outages over the last
they
couple
last
years.
for a day or several hours.
Yeah.
And that would be nice to have a backup way to talk, right? Just say, hey, I'm going to be late home, or do you need me to bring something extra home? Or I'm fine, everything's cool. Go get, hey, I had a flat. Can you go get the kids at childcare? You know, simple stuff like that. Amateur radio is perfect for, especially the repeaters around town.
Formerly RDR. You will always be RDR.
So
I'm down with that.
So we like he learned, you know, I had to walk him through how to talk on a repeater. There's just a few basic things. To put it towards the guns, how it would be with guns. Yesterday we had first contact and he didn't even have his gun sighted in, and he didn't know if it was reliable or not. That's the correlation between getting your radios set up now before you need them. And same with your gun.
He's using that as an example. My guns were sighted in and highly reliable, but he's using the radio. My radios were not sighted in. I didn't know if they were reliable. I didn't know the capabilities of them.
If you're going to wait till you need your radio to program it and use it, the parallel is at first contact, you're going to need to sight your rifle in and check reliability and make sure your sling is working right during first contact.
Yeah.
So don't be that guy with your radios. If you really want the radios to work for you, you're going to have to get familiar with them and use them. Also, like it was my first time here in this city, and we had to find out which repeaters worked well between my place and his place. So there are some that I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
And how do we learn that? Well, we try. We work on it. Before the phones go out, we use the phone to correlate what frequency to use and see if we could communicate. The ones that didn't work, we didn't use them. The ones that did, we stuck to those frequencies after that. So you got to get out there and drive the highways of the airwaves and know what works for you in your situation. And that's not going to work on the day the phones go down.
Yeah, and I would say one of the most, it's not complicated if you understand radios, but for someone like me, like the step up, having certain settings, like you could be on a channel that actually works for you, but you have the wrong settings,
the wrong tone,
and it's not going to work for you. The wrong tone. What's the other one? DTCS.
Digital coded squelch, DCS. Now this is the most. I'm going to tell you what the most confusing thing to most people, and even most hams don't understand, is your tones. Your tones, your color codes for DMR, your transmit tones. All that tone is a subaudible tone, like at about 100 hertz or whatever. And your radio, the repeater is a radio, or your handheld radio, has a squelch that can determine if that signal it's hearing has that tone on it or not. If it doesn't, you'll never hear it. That's tone squelch. So if you set your tone squelch and the repeater's not transmitting a tone, you'll never hear it. But you have to have the right tone to get into the repeaters too. There's about 200 I'd say about 38 different analog tones, maybe 300 digital tones that you can select for a repeater, and you have to have the right one. It's kind of like a key. The door is locked till you put the right key in and turn it, and your tone is that key. It's an electronic key that allows you to access the repeater.
Captain Raccoon asks, what would be the best antenna for a base push 50 watts in a valley?
Well, it might not matter because you're in a valley. The radio waves are line of sight, and you can have a crappy antenna. And if the valley is blocking your signal, it's going to block your signal with that good antenna too. Height is might. The higher you can get it, the better. You may be able to access a repeater on the other side of the valley, but with VHF, UHF, a valley is going to hurt you. You got to have clear line of sight for terrestrial communications. So I don't think it matters what antenna you have or how high it is. If your valley's deep enough, you're going to have poor results.
Tex Bullington said, "You got a sight in the radio." Got it.
Yes, you have to sight in your radio. And that might be a cool thing for us to say here in the prepper tactical community about learning these things. You need to sight in your radio before you actually get out there and use it.
Yep.
And you need to use it.
And test fire it.
Yeah, and test fire it. Make sure that thing's reliable. Learn what repeaters work.
OG Bobby asked, "Does the license cost anything?" The GMRS is $35.
So is the ham. They made them both the same. They used to be 15 and 70, but they kind of found a happy medium for both.
Nice.
35 for each. And it's good for 10 years. And you can refile and keep your call sign indefinitely. You have a 2-year grace period on amateur radio if you let it lapse.
Yeah, I asked the guys that at the ham radio outlet, how long does it take? And they said the government's pretty slow. So Drew says it takes about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So probably about as long as it takes to get a suppressor from them nowadays.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And guess what? You don't have to be, you can be a convicted felon and get an amateur radio license in GMRS.
Yeah.
They do ask you if you're a felon, but I think they look to see if you're a child, dude. Because children, it is a way to meet Boy Scouts and some other people. So
good thing all their addresses are public.
That's right. Yep, they can be. And they're on a database.
Ed Fong antennas hand built.
Ed Fong makes some good antennas. Yeah, and I think he makes them out of California. He makes those fold-up J poles that you can stick in your pocket and hang from a tree or inside a building. I like Ed Fong. And there's another guy that makes them too. N9TAX. That guy built comparable antennas handmade. And you can get them on eBay.
Nice.
And I think Amazon.
So using like ham with your MAG, your mutual assistance group, your range buddies, whatever, if you all are not licensed, ham is probably going to be out for you guys. Now, if you have...
No, I would say at least one or two of you need to be. Everybody else doesn't need to be, but somebody needs to become good at the radios. They need to learn how to program them using Chirp on a computer. Somebody needs to learn how to use them and help mentor everybody else.
Yep.
Now, if you want to all use repeaters, you do have to be licensed. But if you're just running around the range or out in the woods, you don't really have to have a license for that.
All right, so you can use ham channels line of sight. And you won't need a license.
Well, you have to have you're supposed to have a license. Now, free men don't ask permission, right?
Yep.
Just be responsible with that.
Yep.
You know what'll get you in trouble.
But would it be better to use an FRS or GMRS frequency in those situations?
It would be, as far as legality is concerned, yes, because then you're licensed. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere, if a tree falls in the wood and no one hears it, it's the same thing. If a radio transmits in the woods and nobody receives it, did it happen? Nope.
So, what was my other question I was going to have? Encryption.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Amateur radio.
And that's what I was wondering. So if I was going to use a repeater, me and you were talking, we're hitting this repeater, we are not allowed to be encrypted, are we?
Not by the legality of amateur radio. The only time encryption is allowed is when using commands to satellites, which we have satellites we can use in amateur radio. If you are controlling the satellite or setting stuff up, that is allowed to be encrypted.
Okay.
Nothing else is. But there are things you can do to get past encryption. You can learn your little secret words. You can use digital modes that the analog radios can't decipher because they're speaking a different language. That's one way to get around it. You can use there's keyboard to keyboard with these radios too. Now, I know that if you're out there running in your kit, you're running around doing stuff, keyboard to keyboard isn't the way to go. But there's ways you can kind of get around that simply.
Yeah, I mean, I would think if you were that local, you probably should just go with a mesh.
Mesh is like a toy, though. It's that's what I'm finding out. It's not as reliable as it should be. As far as amateur radio, it's much more powerful and robust.
Gotcha.
But mesh does work. I'm not saying that it's not an option. But you can encrypt your stuff with mesh, and if it's very, very short range. So if you're out there patrolling or something, it may work for you. But if you get 600-700 yards away from somebody else, it may not make connection. It may not work, but your ham radio will.
Yep. Message is iffy. Hey, Red, you can change your handle.
Mesh is iffy.
Yeah. Oh, Pilgrim, welcome. Yeah. I mean, people over time, I guess I should make a video explaining that I changed my handle.
This is that video.
Yeah. I've got a couple up now since I've changed it. So if you scroll down and look at my older videos, you'll still see the old Red Dawn intro and stuff like that. Let's see. eBay sucks. Years ago. You got that for me? To the wife. Hello.
So I didn't bring any guns here to where we're at because I had to fly the airlines.
YouTube. You can go watch.
And since
Love you.
it was a company thing, it was job paying for everything. I was
watch this.
pretty much on corporate time, and so I didn't bring anything down here with me. I wish I could have, because I think it would have been pretty cool to do it a little open carry in front of Disney. But hey.
Yeah, I have not open carried yet since we've had open carry.
Yep.
If I use open carry, I'm going to do it for like a ruck, going in the woods, maybe even a trail walk, because I mean, they can come up and be mad about it, but like I'm on a trail. So like there probably would be someone on a trail riding or walking their dog that would complain, but they can't do anything about it. I don't want to be in like public open carrying, because there's a lot of lunatics, like just people who are out of their mind, and I like to avoid as many situations as I can.
There's time and place for it.
Yep.
I generally don't open carry in Oklahoma. I mean, I do when I would do it, I did it for a reason, and then I conceal carry the rest of the time. So one thing to talk about too is I showed you the emails between
that's what I was going to mention,
and my senator.
Yep.
Yeah, tell him you saw. But
I mean, Tim emails his senator probably a few times a month and proposes bills to help free up ordinances and laws that are restricting the Second Amendment. You could tell him some of the ones that like being able to carry in certain places.
You can do this too. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of some of the old laws that we need to tidy up, and some other things too, like there's a 1,000-foot bubble, a federal bubble around every school that you can't carry in without a license. And if your state passes a law like Montana did and deems you to have a license, you can't get in federal trouble for carrying a gun within a school without a license if your state has permitless carry. And this has already been checked out through Montana because they had this situation come up. I introduced a bill to make it where police departments and law enforcement agencies cannot destroy guns after they have held them for trials or taken them from off of people, and they've been deemed to be destroyed. Well, they can't destroy them anymore when the law passes. They have to auction them to an FFL. What else was some of the others I had? Oklahoma has a stupid prohibition on you can't carry anything larger than 50 caliber in a pistol in public.
50 or 45?
45, yeah.
45.
Because I want people to be able to carry their 50 AE. I'd like to have, I don't have one, but, I want everybody else. I passed laws that allow you to carry in boats. It was a misdemeanor to carry in a waterborne vessel anything that you didn't have a license for or were not actively in sporting, like hunting. So I got that repealed. The alcohol level and licensing about carrying in places like Chili's, that serves beer, and you can have a beer while you're there. I've got that law changed. One of the laws also this year I was working on was firearms and gun education in schools, and that it may be on its way to the governor. Several other, I had 29 bills that I had issued to my state senator. And what I want you to do, I'd like to challenge you to go to your capital or have some phone calls or meet your senators when they're in your area. Now I'm lucky I can drive to my capital and I'm there. Like he has to drive halfway across the state. So it's not economical for him to go talk to his representative every week, but they are your representative in your county, in your area. So go visit them when they have events, meet and greets or whatever. Email them, talk to them, find out if they're pro-gun. If they are, start talking to them about issuing some bills for you, because you do vote for them. You are a constituent. They're constituent. They're supposed to do what you want them to do, and that's how it's supposed to work.
Glad to see you, Virginia Roots. It's been a long time.
And you see what happened in just talking about Virginia. What happened up there?
Yeah.
My God, they just flipped from one of the most decently pro-gun states in the country to they're on their way to being California. And it's
Colorado was under reported, but Colorado, I think, might be even a little worse than Virginia.
Yeah. That's what happens at the state level, and everyone talks about the federal gun laws. We need to do this. We need to do that. Well, your state laws affect you more than the federal laws. To be honest. If you're going to lose the right to carry in public, it's going to be on a state level. If you're going to lose the right to carry certain types of guns, even though it's federally okay, the state seems to be able to ban them right now. Yes, it's going through the courts, but that's what they'll do. They'll fight every gun law and make it go 3 years through the courts just to suppress your gun rights till the Supreme Court shoots them down. And they haven't been taking up some of these issues lately. So
yeah. Drew asked, did you ever get a Gen 5 Glock?
No, I haven't yet. No, I have not. I've been going through a lot of schooling and stuff with my new job, and I haven't bought anything, hardly for my car either, which I'm going to get it up and running. But I am getting one. I have plans for it.
Risky asked, Tim, what radio would you recommend for the tactically minded ham radio operator for use in a serious emergency? I mean... Probably one of these.
Budget-minded, I like my Redivus R89. What is it, RT89, I think? RA89. I like this one, but it's all analog. Now, for serious tactical work, this is the cheap end. It's all analog. I'd go with something that is a Motorola, to be honest with you, because you can run encryption with Motorola. Get a Motorola radio. Now they're quite expensive, $1,700, $2,200 per radio, and you can run encryption that they cannot break. It's the 256 type encryption, but also Motorola's are a little difficult to program because they don't like to give their programming out. If you get with someone at a Motorola shop and you buy the radio, you can do it. Also, one way if you want to run encryption legally is get your business license. Get a radio business license like with UHF. Have a LLC or something. Get your business license, and that allows you to use encryption. Then the Motorola company shouldn't have any problem encrypting your radios for you and your crew. If you're running just a mag, make your mag the LLC, call it that. You got 10 people in the group, you get 10 radios. There's EF Johnson. There's different professional style radios that are cheaper than Motorola that you can get encryption in. And if you get your LLC, or you may not even have to get it, just get your business license. Mm-hmm. And it just costs money. There's no test involved, and you are allowed to run encryption. And I think that you may be able to pick your frequency, but I'm pretty sure they're going to try to assign you one. But that doesn't say that free men don't do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And get one with a VFO and have some of your amateur radio frequencies programmed in. Nice. They're not as flexible as some of these, like maybe you are not able to program them from the keypad. You have to use a computer to do that. But that also makes it where your people can't screw them up in the field.
Nice. Robert Ham, man, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, brother. I've been thinking about you. Let me see. We're missing it. Can I retrofit a current emergency services radio 800 for these purposes, say a Motorola or Kenwood?
Yeah, you have to have another 800 megahertz radio. To do it, you won't be able to communicate with your Baofeng or any amateur radio because we don't have privileges at 800 megahertz. But if you're able to buy these radios at a government auction,
he's a firefighter. So.
Oh yeah, you could. Now it's licensing. Free men don't ask permission, but if you want to be legal, as this is where amateur radio license will help you, you will start to understand where you can and cannot transmit. Because as I said, if you want to get in trouble fast, start interfering with public service frequencies, cause problems, cause interference, and they will come hunt you down fast. There's been some people cited for that this year, amateurs that improperly set their equipment up. 800 megahertz is a public service band, and that's all that really should be there, and some telemetry, government stuff. So know what you're doing before you do that. Don't step on the snake.
Very cool. Yeah, for me, guys, I'm starting off at the very bottom, basics of ham radio, and just probably get my GMRS license first. Do what we did here, sight in for GMRS, figure out the repeaters that I can use, who would let me use those repeaters, see if I can work out some things with the wife, and then probably some of the ham stuff once I have my license. See if I can program my buddies' radios that I could reach them, even though they can't really communicate back with me until they get a license on those stations. Maybe see if a GMRS repeater is somewhere that I could reach them with.
And join your hand groups, because there are people there that already know this stuff, and they'll help you.
Yeah.
It's just like going to the gun store, your first gun, there's someone behind the counter that can help you. Well, that's the Amateur Radio Club. They'll tell you all this information like I'm telling you. Also, what did you find out about your state last night concerning amateur radio? 39 repeaters linked through the state. Yeah,
38 or 39 statewide repeaters. So, I mean, just on that frequency, we could talk from, and my state's pretty long, from Tallahassee to Miami. I'm in Florida. So with those repeaters, you should be able to cover the majority of large cities, and they're spread out not too far. You probably have about 4 to 8 hour drive time from our state capital down to like the next biggest city at the bottom of the state. And I haven't tested it out yet because I'm not licensed, but I'm sure we could.
There'll probably be some dead spots in there. Yeah, but that's better than nothing. I mean, if the phones go down, or you have you ever break a phone? You ever have a battery go dead?
Yep.
So right there, amateur radio is your backup. I'm not saying the radio is your first line of communication. Your cell phone is, because they built a massive network that's just incredible. But you do have your radio for backup, and that's what it is.
You want to see if you can key up right now to the statewide repeater network?
I didn't write down the frequency or anything. Oh, you did? I know I could. I could see if we're in there. Check something here real quick.
Let's see. It is. It'd be in our text. Here it is. Connected to. Yep, I believe it's this one. 442.
442.875. 875. Okay, and the tone's 120. I remember that. That's what I do remember. So let me put a 120 in here. I kind of hate how these Chinese-made amateur radio things are, because all your repeater stuff is not right next to each other. You got to pass through a bunch of other Oh, did it skip 120? Okay, 123. So he said 120, but it may be 123. Let's see.
It's not 103.5?
No, it was something different. I remember that. All right. Yeah, okay. It was 123. Sometimes we won't remember that dot at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're all the same on every radio. Hey, this is W5TAH. I'm testing. Am I getting into this repeater? Now it won't key up. I don't know why. Let me see if I messed something up. Okay, 123. Okay, and we may have to step outside the building to do it. Can anyone copy a W5TAH here? Testing, see if I can get in the link. Yeah, I'm not really able to get into it in the building. See, it's real staticky in this metal building, but you can hear it. If I step outside, things will improve greatly. And that's one thing about it. You've got to be able to get out in the clear sometimes to operate the radios. But I'm keying it up. When you key up a repeater, you'll hear this. Now you hear that static at the end? That's called a squelch tail. That's when you unkey and the repeater stays keyed up for just a second. And that's how you know you can chunk the repeater by going W5TAH. Am I in the repeater? That sounded pretty solid. And you can move it around. And when you get a solid return and it sounds good, stay right there and transmit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And good transmit path. So no one's answering me right now. Maybe too staticky. I don't know where the repeater is here in this city. Maybe at the airport. Maybe I don't know the other end. But if we step outside, it may help. But
Yeah,
that's it right there. So you have one in this city.
Mm-hmm.
And amateur radio, we become spoiled with cell phones. I'm
Nice.
telling you.
Virginia Roots dropping. Check
Yeah.
out Tim's channels. Tim W5 Todd, 2A Timothy Harper.
Oh yeah, that's my 2 channels.
Yep, she's dropping the links. Good way to understand radiocom during an emergency is to find a ARES used repeater.
Aries, yeah, amateur radio emergency service.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And all this
You
stuff.
ever see a car with 5 stubby antennas in a circle? That's
It's a
cracking.
Doppler. Yeah,
That's the,
Kraken Doppler. Yeah, it's to direction find and hunt down transmitters. And if they're real tall antennas, that's the LoRaN, not LoRaN. What do they call it? Low jack. It's how they find these cars that are stolen. It's with low jack. Same principle, same theory.
Wow, Drew in Oregon said Oregon outlawed linked repeaters.
Wasn't that GMRS? Was it a state thing? I wouldn't think the state would do that, but that's the GMRS, I think, because the federal law allows it. FCC allows linked repeaters. That's crazy if they did that. If they did, I think they don't have jurisdiction over FCC stuff. Your amateur radio repeaters and radios are not governed by state law. They're governed by federal law. So I'd check into that. I will be checking into that too, Drew.
Good way to understand radiocomms. Yeah, we talked about that.
The best way is to get into it and start using it.
Yep.
I mean, there's no way about it. Don't wait till you need it to try to understand it. Just kind of incorporate it into your everyday life.
Yeah, using the correlation of firearms training and zeroing your firearms and test firing is a very similar like comparison to these radios. It's like, dude, if you want to run a bill drill and you can't draw, or you can't manage your pistol under recoil, that bill drill is probably going to go pretty bad. The one thing is you just squeeze the trigger and it will go bang. That's not even you're not even getting that with this. You could press this button on the side plenty times and you're not going to reach anything or anybody.
If it's programmed wrong, it is like computer programming.
Mm-hmm.
If you get one thing wrong, that radio will not work to talk to the next guy. It's possible that you can program it wrong one parameter and it's not going to work for you. That's one thing about it. You got to be precise. Now you can set everybody's radios up the same way using a computer, and just download the whole template to the radio to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, and make it pretty quick. But I spend hours formulating my templates to program the radio so that everything's in a logical manner. Everything is right. All the offsets are correct for the band. The tones are correct. And then I actually go out and try the tones. I test them. And then when they're tested, check them off and they go in the radio. Just it takes time. It does take time. But amateur radio is a self-promoted hobby.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this ourselves. Someone put that repeater up. The government didn't. A company didn't.
Nice.
So you have to get proficient at understanding how to use your equipment. It's like the 1960s. A lot of it hasn't progressed since the 70s, but that's what makes it simple. But then again, you got to know how to use it.
Joe Q, what's going on? Drew said he believes the FCC outlawed linked.
No, linked repeaters that's GMRS. Your GMRS, the FCC did rule against linked GMRS repeaters, but amateur radio, you can link them. Yep, I've been following that case. They made some linked repeaters in the Northeast shut down. They didn't like it. But amateur, you're still good to go. And we have internet connected repeaters too. I can connect to a repeater in Oklahoma City from here if I know the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They've just we've gotten so used to our cell phones and how easy they are to use
Mm-hmm.
that even these dudes walking around that don't know nothing wise can figure it out.
Yeah,
Anyone,
they can
grandma
figure it out.
can figure out your phone, so they've made it so easy, and we've gotten used to that. Like saving files on your phone is much easier than a computer. You actually have to know a little bit, and then you have to know a little bit more about the radio to make it work.
So I know a lot of people, like Risky's probably a little more advanced. I know he has a ham license, and like for the baseline guy, the Baofeng is a just fine radio.
Yeah.
You know?
If you damage it, you haven't lost a lot. It'll work. It's not waterproof like this one is.
Yeah.
This one was $60.
This one's waterproof as well.
Yeah,
I
waterproof.
think
They're
these
both-
are like 2 for $40.
Yeah, something like that. Just a little bit more money, and you can get this
Mm-hmm.
or this, and they're waterproof, which goes a long way. Like we talk about, why are we skimping on our rifles, or why are you getting a PSA? Get a Super Duty. Same with radios. Some people think the same thing, but you know what? You contacted me on that Baofeng just fine yesterday from 20 miles away.
Yep.
It worked. Now, you might not want to be dropping that in the water,
Yep.
but
And
it
as
is what it is.
like an in-house unit, like if your wife was going to have a unit and you were going to set her up on one, this would work fine, right? Like if she has to go outside and it's raining outside, it's probably not a good option. But they're pretty simple to use, the Baofengs.
You get to know them, and then it's simpler. It's just
Yeah.
like learning the radios. This one has a whole different operating system, which I like better.
Yeah, I
This
do
is
too.
very simple. It's got icons, not words.
Yeah,
So
this one is very simple. The one thing I would say is, like, whatever you have, and I say this about rifles too, like whatever you have, at least learn to use that before you keep
Yeah.
investing and spending.
that's true.
You know, if what you bought was a Baofeng, learn to use it. Learn to
Yeah.
how to program and have this set. And then when you get another one, it actually makes it easier because you have all the presets in here that you could just go in and copy.
Yeah, and some radios you can do GMRS on and amateur radio. You can do them both on the same radio.
I can do that on these two.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can. Yep, and everything outside. And there's where you need to learn what you're doing, because you can get outside the amateur and GMRS radios and start transmitting where the ambulances are, getting into sheriff's communications. Some sheriffs still run 460. A lot of law enforcement ran 460 megahertz for a long time, and 450, which these radios will talk to. You can talk to those police repeaters there. A lot of rural ones are running VHF repeaters, or they used to. We're about to run out of time on that because everyone's going to the statewide digital stuff on 700 and 800 megahertz. So I was there during the time when you could talk to any police department, any sheriff on your handheld. That time is about gone.
Yeah.
You need to have the digital radios that are they'll even, you can have the radio that'll transmit on the same frequency mode and everything, but if it's not registered on that network, it'll never hear you. And they can shut those radios off too. If you get your hands on a police radio and start playing with them, they'll shut that radio off.
Mm-hmm.
And they can GPS locate the radio. These expensive radios. That's why they're $1,700 or more.
Pilgrim said he has a TYT quad band mobile.
And that's one pain in the ass about radios too.
Yeah.
They blast static at you.
Man, what are you running? So I have my Baofeng here with the extended battery, right? This thing's been on now for, God, I still have 2 bars, and I've had this thing on not charged for 4 days.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, with the extended battery, I mean, this is just an option. That's my only Baofeng, but I'm running the Max Talker. I think that's IP. The
That's
waterproofing. I forget which one this is.
The model number's under the battery. It's something 70.
Yeah.
Something 70 Max Talker. And that's a cool radio because it can pick up stuff you don't even need to know the frequency of. It'll just pick up raw radio waves, and you can hear it and know who's transmitting in your area. And I brought my Redivis RA89.
Hello.
RA89.
No, I can't do that now. Love you, bye.
It's waterproof, 10 watts. Just a good, robust analog radio.
Yeah, how much do those run?
$60.
That's not bad for a single.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It's waterproof, large battery. It's a Baofeng on steroids, basically. Really.
So when I was buying my radios, you know, I really was looking for like 2-packs. I also have the TID radio.
TID, the threes.
Yeah.
The small ones. Those are decent radios, and they're good to carry around in public.
Uh-huh.
They slip in your pocket, conceal carry.
Mm-hmm.
So with a radio.
And the reason I did that, because like I wanted some options. Like if I could get one working right, I wanted my wife to have one. Right. Yeah. The Redivis 89. Like if you're just thinking, how do I start on my own? I would probably get something like that to start with, because you know, if you don't know how to use it, then giving one to someone else too, it's, you know, now you're both just swimming without a paddle. So,
and your programming needs to be the same between groups and your family and whatnot. So we've got contacts in our phones, and they're personalized, right? We know what mom is. We know who mom is. Your mom is different than my mom, right? Mm-hmm. But they're both called mom. I've got a way that I tag my frequencies in my radios, and I put special names on them for your simplex channels, which is just radio to radio. But how I name my repeaters in my radios is I put the first 3 letters of the city that they're in. Like OKC is Oklahoma. DAL would be Dallas. Shreveport might be SHR. Tulsa would be TUL. Can you guess what Lawton would be?
LOT?
No, LAW. Usually I use the first 3 letters if they kind of spell something, or I'll use a separate letter. The last 3 digits are the last of the frequency of the repeater. So if it's 147.875, I would type in LAW 875. So that tells me what city that the repeater is in and the basic frequency. And that way, someone that doesn't know a lot like him can kind of look through the channels, and you know what city you're in. You're in, like I'm from Chickasha, Oklahoma, CHA. Find that CHA, and there's your repeaters for Chickasha. If you're in Miami, you know, spell Miami like you want, MAI or MMI or whatever you want to put there for it. And then the last 3 denotes which repeater. And that way, nobody that has a lot of experience with radios or understands them can go to that repeater, the correct one.
Yeah, but on a lot of these, like this one, I don't know if I can assign names, right? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put
you can assign names.
Nice.
It's called alphanumeric tagging, alphanumeric labeling. Yeah, you can use a letter and a number. Some of them give you symbols too.
So like down here, instead of it saying 1, I could have a name.
Instead of channel 1, it'll have a name.
Nice.
So you can name them. And that makes it easy for your wife or somebody that's not technically into the radios. You can tell them, because also if you use channels, my channel is different than his channel. My channel 1 might be one repeater and his is another because they're from other states.
Yep.
But if we go to the correct frequency, we can't go wrong in the right city. Now, some repeater frequencies are reused throughout the nation. So there's 444.000 in Midwest City. That's my repeater. Well, there's one of them in Texas, the same frequency. But if the first 3 letters are a different city name, well, then I know which one's what. And this is just some tips to help you because personalizing your radio is a very personal thing. Your frequency is like the phone number in your phone. The contacts are the alphanumeric name. And make it something where you and your mag can relate to. A lot of hams will put the call signs, and I find that just stupid because it tells me nothing about the repeater. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's multiple repeaters with the same frequency in different areas. But for them, it works. Hey, it works for that guy. If I tell you, hey, meet me on the W5 PAA repeater in Oklahoma City, there's 3 of them. Well, which one are you talking about? Plus, you know, it just makes you back and forth when you could just say one thing one time. Your personal frequencies, you can add them any way you want because they're your personal frequencies between you and your girl. And frequencies, there's probably I don't know, 300,000 of frequencies you can pick between VHF and UHF. Every 5 kilohertz or 2.5 kilohertz, that's a channel, basically like a channel, and you just work your way up. There's 1,000 of them in a megahertz, 1,000 channels per megahertz. If you're running, I think,
1,000 channels.
yeah, 5 kilohertz split is 1,000 channels per kilohertz.
Yeah, some of this is still Japanese to me.
Yeah.
Y'all.
There's 30 kilohertz, or more to go. So you've got a lot of channels to pick from.
UV5, UV25. Those are my HT, and I have 2 Anytones.
Anytones are good radios. I like the quality.
Nice.
UV25, I think, is modeled after the Harris radio, isn't it? I think it's kind of big, looks like a big radio. One advantage to them is they have large batteries, big batteries. The small ones like here don't have the biggest battery, but this is decent. And, high capacity batteries are what we want,
Mm-hmm.
It's like magazines.
Well, yeah, man. Does anybody else have any questions about anything? I think Tim has covered probably a lot of information in just 56 minutes.
Yeah, and you'll have to learn it on your own.
Yep.
I can't teach anybody very much at all.
If you do have questions, put them in the comments.
Tell them about the book.
I showed it to him last night.
Gordon West. Get the Gordon West book.
Yep.
I do remember you talking about that now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to do was I wanted to come in over the repeater on your radio last night. Yeah. Get the Gordon West technician book, and that'll get you started because it has every question and every answer. So,
yeah. I'm going to be studying, and I'll keep you guys updated on my little ham journey. And like I said, if you have questions, put them in the comments.
Are you monitoring the repeater, W5TAH? I want to see if a guy in Oklahoma City is listening.
Nice. Put them in the comments after the video, and I'll make sure Tim goes through and answers them.
Yeah, I can work on that.
Yep. Are you going to see if you could reach Oklahoma?
Yeah, I just keyed up on. I've got my repeater, the 444 repeater, connected to internet node, and I can come up on my phone. No one's answering right now. My buddy that is disabled and sits at home all day is at the doctor today.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, he's not there to answer. But this is what I do to key up. Tell me when I'm.
You're good.
That's good.
Yeah, you can
I
keep
just
going.
push this button, and it keys up.
Oh, so you could transmit from there, huh?
Yeah, hear that? You hear the return?
Well, the mic's back. I heard it though.
Yeah. And I'll try to talk. W5TAH testing. Anyone copy there?
There.
Yeah.
Wow. So is that an app?
Yeah, there's an app. You have to have hardware on the repeater. And it comes into the repeater on RF. It's not hooked up to the repeater. It's 10 miles away from the repeater.
Gotcha.
So we set it up for emergency purposes. If a tornado comes through and takes some stuff out, this is in a different location. There's no one answering me, but that's normal during working hours. Everyone's working.
Yep.
That's why I love my disabled friend. Yeah.
It's always handy.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we're gonna go back and play with some firearms and look at a couple things.
And don't think I don't know anything about firearms either. Just because I'm always talking about radios. That's all they talk about. When I get on is radios.
Well, the firearms content is so plentiful, and the radio content, it's like it's niche, and you have to filter through. Like what you just did in 58 minutes was give more information for the basic, person to grasp, and even a lot of it's going over my head, so I'm sure it's going over their head.
Yeah.
But there's so much information in that quickly within an hour, whereas you could go subscribe to a ham channel and they're gonna talk, and having me here I think helps a little bit to dumb it down. It's okay, well, I'm here on this level. I know I watch the ham radio channels too, and I see them putting out information using all these acronyms that I know nobody knows about. Yep.
And I'm pretty good at saying, when we have our tests and stuff and training in Oklahoma, I have to always remind the guy up there telling these people stuff. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does QSO mean? What does what that term you just used, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
So that these people that don't know, you're not talking over their head. And that's one thing a trainer has to do, is come down to the level of education
Yep.
that the students have. And the hams don't seem to do that a lot,
Yep.
because they are just there.
Yeah, I mean, I've
They just-
been on YouTube. I've watched him like videos, and
Yeah.
talking with him maybe 3 days, I learned more just
Mhm.
keeping it simple.
And that's what you're going to
Um,
want, is what they call an Elmer. Go get into your ham radio clubs. That's where you'll learn. That's where I learned. The people that have been doing this for years, they'll share your education with you, and that's
Okay,
where you're
just
going to
leave it.
learn.
I gotta go.
That's where you're going to learn
It's
your
not gonna get water in the house. You just
your
have a crack
stuff.
open in the window.
So. Hunt down the amateur radio club in your area is what I'm saying. Get your license so you can play ball with them. And I know a lot of people don't want to be on a registry or whatever. It's not a registry. They'll never come in your house just to inspect your shit. That's never happened. If you think the government doesn't know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you're watching me on a phone, they know who you are. They've got you down. They've got all the info. You got a birth certificate, you got a social security number, they know a lot about you.
One thing I would say, if you're watching this, please hit the like button. Make sure that
Like and
you
subscribe.
leave a comment of anything you might have learned during the live stream, or a question that you have for Tim. Save the video as like save for watch later. That way you can reference back to it. And then the other thing I want to talk about is what Drew said is, he's reaching a repeater. That repeater that was in between us, that I was reaching you on the Baofeng. So,
Oh, well, it was by me, and
Yeah.
you were the one far away from it. It was at
Exactly.
the airport.
so that means it was probably at least 13 to 15 miles from me.
Yeah.
And like when you're going from this power to another radio, this is low power, right? I don't know if it's considered high frequency, but a repeater is
It has height.
it has height, so you can reach that much easier than radio to
Height
radio.
is might.
Height is might.
So when I came down here and flew down here, I used my radio on the airplane and was talking to people 75 miles away.
Yep.
And I've got the videos right here. Well, this is when I was on the aircraft. I know they can't see it, but I was making contacts from the aircraft all over eastern
So
Oklahoma.
could you set a repeater up on a balloon?
Yes, you can. They do that. That is a thing that amateur radio operators do sometimes. Yep, I've got this video of me talking to people.
Is there any repeater that is like disposable enough that you could
Yeah.
be like, I don't care if I lose it?
Yeah, they use Baofangs, and they take two of them, and there's an adapter
So, man.
that you can put together to route the audio to the transmitter of the other one, and hook two cheap handhelds together, and make portable repeaters. There's portable repeaters on satellites we have up there. The ISS has one. So much you can do with radio. There's like 70 subcategories of amateur radio, such as video. You can do live TV.
Joe.
You can do digital modes. You can connect to the internet and send emails. Call WinLink. You can do WinLink. You can do APRS and then post your transmission, kind of like when a pilot gets lost. You can beacon out your location on some frequencies and be heard or seen. Transmit images over the radio, JPEGs. There's a lot you can do with it. It's just you have to be the phones have made it so easy that you don't have to think about it. The GUI, the interface is easy. With amateur radio, it's harder.
Drew, one thing we were talking about is setting up an antenna like on the roof of your house. That like you could probably, because he says he has to go outside.
Yeah. Set up an external antenna on a pole,
Uh-huh.
20 feet, 25 feet, and run the coax into your house, and you will be like, why was I doing that?
Yeah, I mean the cable is more expensive than the antenna. No?
You can get better prices on cable. Shop around. You want
Yeah.
50 ohm cable, and the highest, the larger diameter, usually the better because it has less loss. And at UHF, we have fair losses, but a 25 to 30 foot run of coax is not that wrong. You'll be just fine with just RX8, what they call 8X. Get that, or LMR 400. But you can use lesser coax. You'll just when you're transmitting 10 watts, you might get 7 to the antenna or 6.
What's up, Tech Money, Joe Vauq?
Tech Money.
Good to see you guys.
I just want to wave a hand to everybody that says hi to me in the chats when I jump in there too. I've been looking at the screen and you're seeing them there. But everybody that says hi, thank you. And I like talking to you guys, and it's quite interesting. And I did get my AR back from the ATF. That worked out. And it took John Crump, took GOA. It took CJ Grisham down in Texas, who did a lot of the heavy lifting.
You want to hop on this live stream
to get that thing back to me, and they claimed it was an SBR because I had an SBA3 brace. And now John Crump said he saw the video that it was double firing upon release of the binary trigger. If so, it was a malfunction, and they came to terms with that, and they returned my gun. But I had to. It took 6 years, and I had to get CJ Grisham, who is one of the best Second Amendment attorneys in Texas, to fight for me. And he laid the groundwork. GOA and John Crump went to bat for me in, I guess, D.C. or somewhere up there, and went to court. Well, the ATF still would not return it. I found out later they had it in the Tulsa office for months and just wouldn't return it. So I called, and I want y'all to hear this. I called my senator, Mark Wayne Mullen. You might know him. He got that gun back in 3 days. 3 days later, the ATF called me and said, Mr. Harper, where can we meet you? And they ended up meeting me. It's on my channel. I have video of them returning it on I think 2A Tim Harper, not the W5 TAH channel, because that's more radio or personal stuff. And so I got that back after years. And for 2 years, they didn't even tell me that they weren't filing any charges. They tried. The ATF tried, but the based prosecutor in Tulsa area, Oklahoma, just said, no, this is a joke. And I tried to get it back, and they just wouldn't return it, would not do it. So I want to thank out to John Crump, GOA, CJ Grisham, who has an excellent YouTube channel. Look for him. He is an attorney now. He is a gun guy that went out and got his law degree to fight the tyrants in Texas who like to arrest people with guns. Believe it or not, that happens in Texas.
I believe it.
And
Texas is going pretty blue.
It is. So check out CJ Grisham. Give him some support and love, because he's the man. He's like us, but an attorney. Nice. And he's a bulldog. And
does he work for any of the
Mark Wayne Mullen?
Does he do any of the
like
attorneys on retainer? Or
no, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do attorneys on retainer. He works for himself.
Nice.
He outperforms them.
Yep.
Our attorneys on retainer, because he
should think about getting his own membership for.
Yeah, he's a former auditor.
Yeah.
He's like me, and he did First Amendment and Second Amendment audits, and he knows what kind of BS they pull. Yep. And he turns it right back on them and wins. He has won so many guns back from the ATF and from cities, and got charges dropped all over the place. I think he's only lost one case in 2 years. Wow. with his gun stuff that he's doing. CJ Grisham, he's a great guy. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
So he started Open Carry Texas in Texas when they arrested him for open carrying a rifle in public, which was legal. It was 100% legal, and they still arrested him on a dirt road in Texas, Temple, Texas, and that motivated that man. He's an amazing guy, and he's only about this tall. Yeah.
Well, yeah, guys, I hope we were able to get a bunch of information over to everybody. We will see you guys again. I want to give a shout out to Spikes Tactical. We got Joe in the building who runs Spikes Tactical's operations back there behind us. Obviously, a shout out to Always Armed, allowing us to do a live stream here in the shop. And appreciate you guys.
And training does not include just guns. Communication, man. I want to tell you, a police officer has
fitness as well.
Fitness is great too. You don't have to just call for help. You're the one listening, and you hear your buddy call for help. Yeah, you can save his ass. So you need to listen and train with the radios so that they can be an asset. Why do police use radios? Why do you think they use them?
Faster than a cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than a cell phone for
One
getting a hold of
one
groups.
quick button push.
Yeah, train with your radios, get good with them, as good as you can with your AR. When we had the Summer of Love in 2020, I went around and saw so many armed groups in Oklahoma, and they didn't know how to operate their radios. Somebody had to program them for them.
Yeah.
They had their bail fangs right here and didn't even know what frequency they were
Well,
on.
most of them probably aren't watching the Nomad Remnant
No,
YouTube channel.
no, they're not. So, but I've got so many friends that got guns and they don't even have any way to carry magazines. They got 2 magazines per gun, and they I guess they carry them in their pockets, right?
Yeah, I mean, some guys carry with no holsters, the one not in the chamber.
Yeah,
You know, some leave them in the car, some leave them at home.
like I had to come here and work.
Well, yeah, you had to.
But that's
why you have armed security.
That's why
with
I
you.
have. That's why I'm hanging out with RDR.
Yeah,
I have trouble remembering your new name on the channel, Nomad Remnant.
it'll take some time.
It'll take time.
It'll
Yeah.
take some time. But yeah, guys, I think tonight is what, Thursday, so DLD will be live.
Okay, I'm gonna watch.
He'll be live on Rumble probably about I forget what DLD time usually is, about 10:30 to midnight. Yeah, go ahead. So
Who knows what model?
one of the rarest unreleased definition knives. This is the actual Tim Harper edition. And yeah, I mean that the auditor. Yep, that thing is pretty cool. One of my favorite DK knives.
Some of you guys got a copy of it. I think there were 5 of them.
Yeah, so I would say let's push DLD to release this one.
Yeah, call it
And,
the auditor,
Call it the auditor.
or the
Yep.
or something about radios too.
Yeah.
Cool, you know. The sparky,
The squelch.
Squelch means shut up.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll make someone shut
We'll
up.
figure that out later.
But yeah, guys, appreciate everybody. Thanks for coming through, and go check out Armsman's Holsters. Awesome holsters. I'm actually hanging my camera on his display here in the store. But yeah, see you guys later. And Tim Harper, appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
I'm glad I was down here.
Awesome, man.
Glad to meet you.
It's been a
And
pleasure.
And we're going to check out the
Yeah. So my wife
We went to that ham radio store. That was cool. It's
Yeah.
like a gun store for radio
took him to
guys.
his first Wawa.
Yeah, hadn't been to one of them yet.
Yep. The most interesting part was probably the parking lot.
Yeah, Sunday fun day. A lot of YNs running around.
Yeah,
It was something.
It was wild. We were off Orange Blossom Trail, so if you know the area, you know what that means. But we'll see you guys later, and
Train.
subscribe,
Train.
all the
Train
good
with
stuff.
all of your equipment.
Yep. Never stop improving, y'all. See you later.
The remnant of nomads feel lost in a world they don't recognize, controlled by evil forces who seek to enslave them. They have trained and prepared for this very moment.